Well, hello, and welcome. This is Julie with the Jewel Design, and we're back. Oh, what a weekend. Oh, so hopefully it's a lovely Tuesday for you, beginning of the week-ish, right? And we are working on a new project. This is heavily inspired by Laurette over at Vintage Paper Girl. Almost 2 weeks ago, she made the cutest pharmacy bag booklets, and it got me going, got me thinking. I'm like, oh, I want to make one. I had some leftover pages, similar to what we'll be working on Thursday in the altered book. Actually, we started on Saturday, and then we'll be decorating on Thursday. But using some of these lovely, sort of pre-designated, sort of small writing spaces, I felt these would be adorable cutout and placed on these all-in-one bag pages. So I'm going to use I'm actually going to use a Subway bag this time. So I don't have the standard gusset on the bottom that a lunch bag would have. So we're not going to add a pocket to it in this sense. We're just going to use it as our flap. We're going to try to magnet it closed because I have my new thin magnets. Right. And then we have these beautiful squares to work with. We have a large space inside, though, because I was trying to figure out if I was going to make them smaller and fold them in. But I think here we'll be able to collage a background, and we're going to glue in like a notepad kind of deal with some pre-printed looking coffee dyed papers. So, girly, stay put. Got another cat today. So we'll cover the back with a pre-collaged page that I have, because why work twice as hard, right? But I think whatever is left over, we're going to use to try to collage the inside. Because we're going to cover most of it with like I said, a sort of like a notepad side writing space here. And then we will have, I'm going to take what she did to one step farther and see if we can do this. It may be a little thin, but you're supposed, when you cut it to give you 2 pages going down the gusset, gives you 2 pages built in. You don't have to tab anything in. I'm actually thinking about using the gussets as a tabbed in possibility. So we'll have 1 page. We're going to glue pages back to back on these tabs as a 2nd page, and then use the back flap as a 3rd. So 6 total, front and back. And we're going to try to do that because I have enough pieces. 1, 2, 3, and 4. And 5 and 6. So the goal will be trying to get him in a small writing space, and his ears will be on the other. So one of these will actually have a continuous, like, feel. I think it's somewhere in the middle here. These two will be pretty much side by side because of his ears. But that is my idea. And then we think we're going to put this bunny on the front. We'll put the florals in the back. And we have these two, somewhere in between. Hi, Keekers. She wants to come say hi. Kitty number 2. I guess we'll say kitty number 2, huh? You see her? Yeah. No, we're not bathing right here, love. I'm in the middle of a video. She's like, and? So today, so we're gonna use some washi. I have some like letter postcard washi to help cover some of the green. Hopefully, I'm hoping. That's on the edges that we may not be able to cover. I do plan on trying to get the template here and getting it to the edge. We're not gonna do any of my usual. Okay, baby girl. Boxer, not at all. Okay. I'm going to not really do our usual deckled inside the brown bag kind of deal, because of the fact that we do have green showing in places. And there's, it's one thing to cover it, but it's a little hard when we have things hitting the edges. So I figured washi on the edges, cover with paper. We will template a square so that all pages are the same, so I know exactly where I'm going to grab elements from. And then we got to decide. I have this lovely, it's a little, we got the mint and green mini pom-pom edges, which I think would be so cute. I wanted to put it on the pages. Only thing about the edge of the pages is that when I go to do our magnet, it might get in the way. So maybe we'll do them on this end, right? More on this kind of end. And maybe the inner one. I'll have to decide. I don't know. I want to use it somewhere, but I realize it might get in the way. Might make the inside a little fluffy and hard to use our magnet to keep it closed. So we'll see. And as we're going along, we'll have to decide if the magnet can be on the inside. So it's paper, brown, magnet, paper covered, and still get through to this side. Now, this is the only thing we're having problems with. We'll have to see what's left over. I may take different scraps from what we didn't use and collage this just as much as we will collage the inside. Because when it's open, I realize this has to be collaged, this has to be collaged, this has to be collaged. Because the papers are pretty standard. So we'll definitely use every scrap I cut out that I don't use, we will use to decorate the inside. So let's get going. First off, we are going to actually cut this pretty clean so that I'm not dealing with anything extra and what if. So I definitely want to do that. So then we can cut some used cardstock and make a template for the size of the pages. Because I think that way we can trace out exactly where we want these guys to be. So we're going to do that. And then I think we'll start with those pages first, because like I said, what's left over is going to give us the ability to decorate the odd off pages for sure. So how are we all doing? Hopefully recovered from any major 4th of July fun. If you had a bunch of family and friends or traveled, you are home again. On Tuesday, you never know. Yeah, whether you're home, whether you recovered, or maybe you're still there and just resting. Maybe it's a week-long thing. Who knows? All right, so yeah, nice and clean. This will definitely be a little bit of a more clean-cut, straight concept. It won't be a lot of, it won't be my usual, I'll do that in a moment, sort of, you know, deckled edge type paneling. I'm definitely going to do something, you know, a little different there. We're going to try to keep it as straight and as clean as possible. Haha. The fun part will be cutting this. I guess we should do that next. All right, so this is the hard part because you are trying to cut the edge as clean as possible so that, I'll open it up a little bit, your pages are, you know, on that fold. I know Laurette struggled with that too a little bit. We're just like, oh, you don't. And I'm only going to my fold line, so I already folded it, so I know exactly how far down to cut and not. The hard part is being left-handed and everything else. You're like, if you go at the wrong angle, you don't have control. And what I'm looking at is, okay. So nice thing about this is that when you are going along, you're going to want to seal certain areas so that it stays sturdy and you know, doesn't come apart. So there's a seam in the side of the bag, which is staying put. We're not losing it or anything. I decided to glue it down a little bit so that it wasn't too flimsy. We hope that with the nice 32-pound white paper that you printed on, that's what you're doing. Cards, now if you're using like cardstock, like scrapbook paper, it would make it really thick. You could print your pages on cardstock and it would make this a very stout, I think it's stout, and that's more of a beer. I don't know why I use that word. Very sturdy page, right? Since paper bags are not. So there's your first page. And now Laurette cut down this middle, I believe, and kept it, you know, attached, I believe. I'm trying to think how she cut her too. I think, yeah, she just went down something. I think she went down the seams. But I just had this thought, and I don't know if it'll survive, right? Don't know until we try it. I mean, if it looks like it's not going to survive, all I have to do is glue it down. Glue this down. It just stays a 2-page ordeal. But I wanted to go a little bigger, a little longer. See if that would survive. See what that would do. Thought about getting it another fold in there somewhere. I just realized we could have done 2 clasps. Ooh, there's another thought, huh? We could have done it to where, if we folded it just right, this actually could have been, no, you still have to. Yeah, no, never mind. I'm like, nope, never mind. So there's one. So what we're going to glue it shut, and we're going to put a piece of paper on both sides. So that makes it page 2 and 3. I decided, let's see if I can get one more set. Again, I'm trying to use up papers. So I'm like, well, I have enough. I'm shaky this morning. That's not good. Okay, close enough, right? Okay, so then this technically is page 2, and here's page 3 of the front cover, right? Nail lifting work. Okay, so that is what I'm trying to do. We're sort of creating a third page by using these. Why not, right? I thought I heard something. I always like to see if I can... I love being inspired by my mom. Her two pieces are absolutely adorable and gorgeous. She's got the vintage sewing, I think the vintage sewing, or vintage one and a shabby one. And we hope to have in the shop soon. As soon as she feels good enough, she'll give me photos and descriptions and we'll get it in the shop. Not sure what I'm talking about. I'll show you guys her link so you can find her name if you're new to me. Huh? What are you talking about? Laurette Chandler at Vintage Paper Girl. She's my mom. She's my craft buddy. She's my other half of our business. She is everything. So, and huge inspiration always because I'm like, normally I try, you know, I thought, well, let's see. This just, you know, I couldn't help myself. I'm like, oh. All right, so there's our 1, 2, and 3. So far, so good. Now, really, now when it comes to the rest of it, we created something here where the flap is, but the rest now is an open gusset, and it doesn't really go anywhere. It doesn't really do anything. So really is best just to seal it shut. Seal it shut. Because I'm not trying to give a pocket or anything for it. The Laurette was really smart. She cut something on the top flap so that you could go down into it and make it a pocket. I'm going to instead do more of it, the notepad in there with just 3 pages. Or 6 pages, actually. 6 pages instead. So a little bit of a change up, right? Something different. This is very Easter. Well, it's not Easter. It's very spring. Spring Easter, the bunnies, I guess. Or springish. And that's okay. Some people just love bunnies. Our dear friend Gail Gustinelli is a huge bunny lover. I'm definitely thinking about her while I'm doing this. But yeah, I have this kit. I believe... I don't even know the name of this kit anymore. I know I had the Easter one that definitely had bunnies and things in it. And then I had a floral watercolor one. And then I ended up with a bunny one to go with it. So I ended up with a couple different kits. When I was working on one, I ended up being three deep when I was done. All right, so there we go. For the most part, a little off, but as we cover pretty cleanly, because the other edge did not go right. Oh, and I keep trimming it. It's just going to get worse, especially when it's on the right side. It's not my favorite edge here. I just want to lightly trim it up. Don't want to go too much because each page may then go over, and then I've got a very interesting gap. So now we are going to create a template. So we know we need to get scrap paper is great for this, especially when this is cardstock, so it's nice and easy. I'm hoping now we're going to also measure, but I'm going to do a little bit of a eyeball too here. I'm going to do a little bit of both. I'm going to confirm. I'm marking it according to the end of the page on each end here, which is fine. But I'm also going to take the ruler and see if, there's a more specific, measurement here. So if I'm correct, not bad. Okay, I have 4 3/4. So we're supposed to be 4 3/4 this way, right? And we're supposed to be about, so here's the fun part, 6, 1, 2, and 1/8 maybe. It's going to be a little bit of, now the thing is, if I really wanted to make sure this was straight and that we were back to, I could cut across the bottom here and re-glue, but I don't really want to. I like the folded soft edges. Even they are glued, I don't really want to lose that, especially when we have it up here where you have that rounded edge that isn't an open paper like this. Really hate to lose that. So let's go 6 1/8, I think, is 1. Gosh, my poor ruler's dead. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yes, 6 1/8. Okay. And this is supposed to be 6 1/8. Okay. All right. And each page should be almost, this is probably the biggest page, and so everything should fit just within inside it. So I can either glue it down and then try to clean up the brown, right, or clean up the paper to sort of fit better. Okay, so we have that possibility here. So let's see if we can make some marks here just to make sure that we are, I'm not doing it by hand, but that doesn't mean even within my even within my cutter, that things do what they're supposed to do. Because I don't always trust that, yeah, 3/4. You know, make sure they match up. So even when I'm cutting, that it looks like at least attempting to keep everything, you know, on the fly. See? Okay. So we'll cut that in a moment, and that'll give us our thing to trace. Before I forget, though, I want to see if this will cover. A little thick, and I might even cut it in half, so it's not as much. But I'm thinking it's covering enough of the green. It's pretty dark. I can barely see the green. It's just going to tone it down, so I'm not sitting here going, I've got this weird green showing up that I don't want to see. Now, we just measured this, right? So I actually don't have to try to guess. I can actually find my 6 1/4 on the thingy, and I can decide where I need to cut it off. There we go, give or take, right? A little beyond's okay, but okay. And then we're going to try to cut this in half. I'll get my other board out and my cutter. I know I actually did my happy planner and Christmas in July this week. It's a little weird though. I didn't do it too heavily. I just did some cute little red and green type things and sort of hinted at the idea of Christmas, but it's like, yeah, I'm not doing anything yet. I don't know. We'll see how the week goes. I'm trying to get my oldest daughter's schedule down. If we can get that committed, then I know what I can go do, but maybe. Hopefully you guys had a chance to look. But yeah, I know my sale for Christmas Digitals did end on Sunday night. But you never know. But I do have all my Christmas up still, all of July. My Christmas kits will be up. And then they will, the rest of the Christmas, there's a lot of Christmas I don't have up yet. Shabby Christmas and winter and all that will show up about September, October, unless I get requests for it sooner. Make sure you guys, probably September. I will definitely get the rest of Christmas up, or winter up, so that you can create your elements that you need to sell in November, by November, December, right? All the craft fairs and sales and things you guys need to do for gifts. So we all will be doing, right? I feel like I should do some kind of Christmas this year. Gotta decide whether I'm working off an old kit. I don't have any more printed, so I definitely would have to, you know, either create a new kit and work with it, or pull out a favorite. Okay, so yeah, I'm just gonna find the middle. We're gonna glue it down. Or not glue it down. We're gonna tape it down. Got to love washi. It's one of our favorite. It's like washi on inside and lace on the outside. Helps reinforce just about anything. Plus, yes, I feel like it will help reinforce these paper edges, which it is folded in the bag, so it is thicker, and it's tempting to do it on each one of them. I just realized, maybe, we'll see. I have to debate here. I was like, well, wait a minute. The thought to put it on the edge of each one, so that it is stronger, is not a bad idea. I am doing it folded, and I don't know if I'm going to regret that. Alright, I should have maybe done it flat, but that's okay. I think it's working either way. Okay, so there's that one. Hides it some, but at least on the edge here, it's not so obvious that there's a dark green lettering. This one is not as bad as right on the edge. So let's try doing this one flat and see if there's if there's really a difference in the fold technique here. Sometimes you better do flat and pull taunt. Upside down. I think, yeah. Okay. Find your path. Go about middle. There we go. Because if we're not going to see this isn't something that, it works either way, yeah. It's just to sort of hide that and reinforce any weird edges we might have. So, or just reinforce the possibility of the constant folding that will ensue. All right, upside down. Now I am putting my flap closure on the left side, and having these open up to the right this time. Since we will have a notebook in here that'll be open, you can flip to the left. So there you go. Okay. So my only thought was, I was just realizing that I'm wondering to help keep this closed, which I can glue, if it's worth. Now this one doesn't really have anywhere to put washi, so I can do it here to keep it closed. See, that's pretty secure. It's just maybe this one, but I have it on the outside, so it is tempting to close this right here. I could always just do a little half piece and then use the other half later somewhere. So we're at the bottom of that line. Nice thing about print's amazing when you go, hey, I like that spot right there. Does this work? Yeah. And I can make it that wide. It's not, there's nothing wrong with leaving the whole thing there and covering up to the page. And if we see a little something, it's not the end of the world. Okay, let's do this. Then we need to get our pages. We need to start templating out our pages because, like I said, it's going to determine how we're going to collage the rest. I need to do the back real quick, too, before we get into the inside so that I'm not struggling with that. This will help keep this closed. Not that I couldn't put glue in there. Nothing wrong with that either, but we can do that there. And then we can put a little bit, I just lost the top, a little glue in there and here. Since we're not, that way everything is closed off. Okay. Papers everywhere. And see, I'm actually surprisingly wearing my new reading glasses while I'm crafting. Excuse me. I guess it's helping. I don't really know. I don't know if it makes a difference. I mean, I'm just because I'm here and I was reading earlier, so I was like, well, I'll leave them on. Let's see what happens. Okay, so there's the 3 pages. Now let's get that refolded. There we go. I think that'll help. It's a little reinforcement just to be on the safe side. Okay, so there's that. Now, let's just get this back part done because again, that is more closer. So let's see. I really want to mostly writing. I like the writing feel. But I can't do I guess I could just turn it upside down and trace the space and go for it, right? Because I really feel like I want photography. I want mostly the writing. Yeah, I think so. Okay, so let's get the, what's the word? Let's get the white edges off so that we can see exactly. I've done this before. I'm like, oh, I'm fine. I go to trace it from the back side and realize I left, you know, my traced area has to do with the white. And I'm like, no, we don't want the white. Using my little, I just felt it was easier. I don't want to go back and forth from the big cutter. All right, ladies, I appreciate all the lovely comments lately. I really do. But someone's got to tell me, what are we up to? Are we traveling a lot? Are we crafting at all? Just watching videos? Let me know how you are spending your moment, your happy place. Is it just watching videos lately? Have you been able to craft? Are you traveling? Maybe you're just recovering. So I know we've had a few with surgeries or illnesses. Hopefully everybody's feeling better. All right. All right, so there's that part. Okay, now. Oh, before I know I talked earlier and then totally blanked out. Okay, so I have a bigger one, but I don't know. It's glossy, so I guess that works. So Laurette Chandler Vintage Paper Girl, you can type that in and find her on YouTube. And of course, you're watching on Jewel Design. And then the design shop that has all of our supplies like the pom-poms and the trims and laces and bags. Now, you know, if you, for whatever reason, don't have pharmacy bags or old Subway bags or whatever it may be, we do have some lunch bags in stock and a number of other sort of open bags that you can do this in any, I think, size. I think you could, you know, make it a tall, skinny kind of deal and maybe cut it open and get 2 pages out of it. Just a lot of our bags don't have gussets, though. They're more like a gift bag, so you would just cut it down the middle and you would end up with 2 bags or 2 pages, right, in a fold. But with that, so then I would definitely suggest cardstock, printing your digitals on cardstock, because then the pages would be thicker and wouldn't be as light and airy, unless you want that feel. You could then also use as a single-sided scrapbook paper, but I think more times than not, double-sided scrapbook paper it has more of a thicker cardstock, when single-sided scrapbook paper is more like our 32-pound paper. So either way, but so yes, that is the shop, and you know, like I said, and then our channels, and then the digitals I was all talking about, of course, is under the Jewel Design side, which is jeweldesign.etsy.com. And then, of course, the new shop's underneath there too. But you're looking for digitals for Christmas. If you're newer to me and haven't looked into those, I have my full kits up and the words right now. You know, for the next month or so, and then we'll be into fall. I will release all the fall stuff and all that jazz. So anyway, things to keep in mind. So I really think mostly writing when I do it like that. I'm looking on this end to see, or do I want a little bit of everything? I just don't know how much scrap I want, right? If I do up here, then I have a nice clean pieces to work with for the inside. I fussy cut it and get a little bit of everything, then I end up with definitely other strips, because that gives me this, the writing, and that. Very bookish. And it's just the back. So it's sort of like, well, right here, sorry, I should do this. It's more of this, but that's, you know, to compare it to. But, yeah, okay. Let me just give, because I'm going to do it this way. Pencil. We know it should be 6 1/8 or so deep, but I am sort of really matching it to what I'm doing because I don't really want to take any chances. So we're going to go this way first, because really let's keep as wide of a gap as possible. And we do know that I'm lining it up with the edge of this, my mark, because that's about the best way I can do this. I hope. Yeah, it worked. Okay, so there's our first scrap for that. And then let's see if 6 1/8 is darn close, because that's what we've been eyeballing. Just about. I think we're going a little beyond, so I don't really want to... I'd rather go beyond and have to cut it off than come up short and see brown. This one I'm not allowing as much brown to show, even though that is our base, and if it happens to come across, it gives us that more vintage feel. But this is a very white and bright kit. So, you know, a white paper bag, it would be, you know, glassine bags and stuff like that would be really gorgeous on this kit, actually. Well, it actually would have been really pretty, but that's okay. Let me make sure there's no paper. All right. So I can ink this, and that would help. I think, though, in this case, I'm going to do more green than anything, because it's sort of, you know, our base here. I can always add the vintage photo later. If I feel like it's just, nope, I need to, you know, do something with it. Now, the question would be whether or not I want to corner the pages, which I have to keep that in mind. But I could put it, once we have it all glued, if I really do keep it tight to the pages, the paper matches the pages, at any time I can corner the edges of the book pages to give it a different feel. The only thing is if I do put trim on it, that makes a difference. So, sort of have to keep that in mind. Okay. Oh my goodness, messes everywhere. I have my hands in places. I did get our Dreamer's TN in place, so hopefully I should just leave that out. That's all right. You guys had a chance to peek at that. All right. So here we go. How did I do? Feels like for the most part I did pretty good. It is a nice full to the edge cover, and it is not, yeah, hopefully. Okay. And at the front, yeah, making sure. Last thing we want to do is put it on backwards, right? All right, so I am using nice and heavy, especially on the edges here, our glue stick. Now, I don't need to get going here. We will get our pages at least templated in the sense of always cut which ones we want and see if I can get them cut fast enough to get that on. So let's get this going. We'll figure out which sections we want of the bunny pages. Then always pause, cut them out, and then come back in and we can glue them together. Didn't do a lot of prep work because I wanted to, you know, walk that process through this time. Upside down. Right side up. Okay. Making sure. I guess it'd be my, I mean, not that it couldn't be upside down, but I think that would be a little, just, I don't know, wouldn't be as pretty, I guess, if we did it. Now, and this leaves us an opportunity. I think Laurette said she was going to do it with one of hers too, is to put lace right here. Put a lace pocket on the back. So I love this lace. I'm going to be so upset when we run out, me and my mom run out personally. That would make a beautiful pocket right here. So if I decided to do a little, we have extra paper. We can make one of our scrappy journal cards, a nice large one that sort of fits within here. And we can make a pocket back here, right? So that is potential. Now the pages themselves, I'm using sort of open to have the writing space in it, but we may just find out that there is great places to do tucks, like not the front, but there might be room to do, you know, an edge tuck or a lace bottom that doesn't interfere with some of the cute little writing spaces, right? All right, we're good. And really, for the most part, like I'm a little here on the edge, but see how all the pages turn out, and it might be that we don't see any of it. So I'm not going to start trimming stuff off, I don't think. I take that back. Let's see if I can do this without cutting into the brown. It's really thin, so that's not going to work. Yeah, that's where I'm like, it's soft too from a little bit from the glue, but let's see if I can do this. Sometimes it's really hard to do it on the right side. I don't know why. We'll re-ink it, but it is a light trimming, but it's just enough to make it a little less obvious on the top. With ink it'll help, but you'd be surprised what pops up. Yeah, well, and I think we might need to add more glue. We'll see. I feel like it could be looser than I realize. Then again, no, I think I did a really good job. Haha, for once. Okay. Sometimes you glue it down and it puckers everywhere, right? Okay. There's that. Let's get this cut so we can. And the nice thing is these become templates. These become just, I have them everywhere. Now I have all these cute, you know, envelope, you know, this was for our envelope, right? This was so that when I did our, this guy, when we did this one, I want to make sure each page was pretty on par. So I wasn't guessing at every single page and hoping that each one was pretty, uniform, so that we were not struggling all the way through. So this is 4 3/4. So let's see how we're doing. Looks like we're pretty much right on it. So we're gonna hope my piece of paper here is, oops, gosh, that's not good, is straight. There's always one edge that just doesn't cut right. And this is just, and scraps. As I was trying to clean off my, sort of be fun and cute to use, just cleaning that off. When I want a new color, I'm always testing out my, at least it's 6 1/8. So there's my 1/8. There's the lines. Yep. Okay. So between the two, we're really double checking everything and making sure that, we have what we need and we're as clean as we can get. All right. So now we get to play the papers and see on each one what we are able to do. So this one is adorable, and this is the one where I think we're going to have 2 pages. I'm debating on whether we do either one, whether we do it this side and this side, or this side and this side. Haven't decided which inner this paper is going to go side by side. So though I'm cutting it here, I'm pretty much flipping it over for the most part and clipping it here. So they look continuous, because I hate that we're, either way, I've got parts, even if I go here, I've got parts of his ear, but I want a good chunk of the writing here. The fact that I want that writing space, right? But I would love to have his face. Now, I did notice that cuts right at his ears, at his eye. So we are going to move it in a little bit, hence why we're doing a template. I still get the writing here. I get to this, I get here, and I get here, and I still have a good chunk of this as a writing frame to work with. And then I'm going to, whatever's left over, this is going to be a great, I think, fussy cut somewhere. So, and or corner of the cluster. So yes, again, I want to think about here, and then that gives me, I believe, on the same note, all of that. So we get this whole square still to write on. So yes, I'm all for that right now. Okay, just want to make sure while I'm doing this, I could come down some, but his head's right there. So I really do feel like we don't have a whole lot of room. Like we don't need to go down very far. So we're just going to carefully, haha, as I already goof up, we're just going to sort of trace our box, and we're going to, you know, try to meet inside the measurements, but like, I'm going to want to, you know, cut this off carefully. Things like I hate to, you know, we're going to get into this corner, but I'm probably going to want to cut this way first all the way. So we have this to work with, and then I can cut this off and then, you know, kind of deal. And not worry about it too much. Now if I stay in the exact same line, it goes right to the edge there. My voice. Oh no. I'm like, all of a sudden my voice. No, no, no. We did good. We stood outside for maybe a half hour. For 4th of July night, you know, with friends, with family, not family, neighbors, and did the whole, so yeah, we can go all the way across the bottom, and then cut off, cut down the middle, and this becomes a continuous side-by-side page inside that one. Goodness gracious. Now, these two, doesn't matter as much. This is pretty tight, actually. We get some of this, and we get him. So I might move it over, so we get just a section of this and whatever above. You get a little bit of this corner. You get all of the bunny. This is definitely intent to have as much of the bunny as possible. And then really, it lets me do the same thing, but I'm going to go to the top this time. And we're going to put the flower on the top and all this writing space. So these are front and back, actually. I think we're going to put this one, because they're very, they're a little bit different, a little bit more eclectic. Different coloring style compared to the other pages. So I felt like we could use these in the beginning and the end to sort of bookend the pocket. Right here, down here. And again, like I said, once we start cutting things, I should be able to go, yep, no, that should be 4 3/4, that should be 6 1/8, and we're good to go. Now, I could match it. Yeah, that is good there. We're just going to go from the top this time. Love finding simple lines and using it so that we're sort of utilizing what's there. And this one is just going to have that little edge. Now this little scrap will probably not survive. Oh, no, no, no. There we go. So we can cut down the middle. Then we have, this can be collaged and this can be collaged. That can be collaged. That we'll throw away. Not a big deal. Just trying to see where my lines are way up there. Okay. So this is our main line, just like we had before. And we've got front and back. So this will be, for sure, the inner back page, which I love. It's a nice large writing space next to our notepad. So I really do like that the back one is definitely something that we even have room to put a small pocket if we wanted to put a journal card in, and you could still write. So you know, maybe we can utilize that or put a tuck on the side, but that might have some potential for more space. Here's your front, but this writing space here might be something more that we decorate. Maybe enhance it. We may not really use it as a decorative space, or on the top we can decorate up all here, and you could write on that first page. But it is what's going to be seen here. Let's see. Yep, and the bunny doesn't get covered. So yeah, we would decorate up here, and we took off the the magnet. You did have some writing space here on your first page if you wanted. We might just decorate that all up. I don't know. Okay, so those two are done. And then these are pretty much definitely going to be fussy cutted to where we want and like, because I want as much of the bunny as possible. And of course, the whole kit and caboodle of the writing space for these two. These are the off section areas. So it definitely has something else. Hold on. Okay, one sec. Sorry, I thought someone was out the door. Need to see who that was all about. All right. Okay. Up, over, down. Okay, perfect. So that's a beautiful bunny and writing space. And this one I'm gonna have to do the same. I can't. Nope, I don't want to move him off. So we'll go on this edge. And let's see. Yeah, I think I went all the way to the top. Oh, I don't want to lose the rows though. So maybe we will come down some, because I would love to have the whole bottom of that one. So we're not really cutting off any. So we'll go there. I'm looking for lines like that bottom of that green line. We know we're going to go all the way over to match the thing here. So finding points on the page to line up with so that I know for sure, you know, I'm doing what I need to do. Okay, so we're going to go up to here, down to here, over and over. Again, full page. It's really obvious that you can write in here. or you can put your favorite sayings or a quote or, you know, whatever you would like. But you have some, it's pretty, it's decorative. It gives us something to enhance on the edges and, you know, decorate up. Okay. So those are that. So I'm going to pause and I'm going to, one more time, right? You won't know. It's mere seconds for you guys. It's a blink, right? Snap my fingers and all of a sudden I have pages. So I'm going to pause here and I'm going to cut these out real quick so we're not wasting any time because it's already 40 minutes in, so that the next 20 minutes we can actually glue these in place and start seeing this come to life. So hold on one second, ladies and gentlemen. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I thought I'd jump back on here before my camera decided to shut itself off because there would not be any time. I'm on the last square. 1 second. Hey, Google. Volume 2. I like to keep myself occupied with Beethoven or something in the background. Well, it's working. Oh, that didn't work. Hold on. Hey, Google. Volume 2. All right. I don't need it blasting in our ears, right? I'm like, I don't want to get in trouble with anybody, but it is Beethoven. It is classical music. I mean, come on. So I'm keeping some of these itty bitty stripes, not in case we just have to do a really interesting fill somewhere. But okay, so far so good. I haven't goofed anything up. I almost did. I was looking at one thing and I was like, did I cut that right? Oh, I was like, had a brief moment. Didn't screw it up. I was very happy. So we'll see how this all works out. So I'm putting things in place as I go, not gluing, but just like, that's just a really pretty piece. I'm all, ta-da. Okay, so hoping, you know, I'm cutting even, because, you know, my line there, I just realized is not the same as, but sometimes I think I'm good, and I realize that I did not go all the way up. Yeah, that's right there. So, I mean, you know, I always worry. Like, you think you're good, and then you realize that just one side was tilted a little or something weird, right? So it's never fun. Okay. Okay, so now, so you guys see, I mean, I have all of this papers left over, right? Plenty of the papers. We can even use this, I think, on the flap. This might be the exact size we need for the outside flap to match the back. And then I know there's an inner flap, and that one might have to get collaged, though. But yeah, no, I'm like, we have all these beautiful pieces now. So hopefully it's going to help us with our flap, our closure flap, and getting that where we want it to be. Oh, some of these even have back print on them. I didn't realize that. There's a few of them. So, you know, you can always swap some things up too. I think they were for, potentially for a, you know, for an actual book. If I want to do a journal out of them, but it never happens. So, okay, so there is our inner front, or our front page, front corner, which, you know, again, you think about it and go, okay, well, this overlaps this, we have this. Ooh. Yeah, we could put the pretty, maybe the mint green on the outside. Oops, sorry, guys. Ah, moved you completely there. So sorry. We could tuck that in. So that would be really cute with all the green. And then we find, I have plenty of fussy cuts, so we have florals and bunnies and stuff to decorate the front of the top of this. I think that would be really nice. All right, so there's that potential. All right, so then we fold in, or we fold out, and we have potentially that there, and we have her there. Now they are side by side, and that is a bummer that the two major writing spaces are right there, but I don't think I want to break this up, right? I think I want to keep that side by side. I think it's absolutely adorable. And then your back page is here. And then we have the collage, which I think is nice and neutral enough to where you can collage. And then we're going to cover it with a potential notepad that just opens horizontally, right? From left to right instead of top to bottom. So that is the potential there. So I feel everything needs to be inked. And I don't know whether to match the ink to the page. Because if that's the case, I have both pink and this one feels more purple. So it needs a little bit of inking as we go along, because I don't feel we should be completely without some ink, right? So let's, even if just the smallest hint of, you know, oxide, a shadow of something. And the question will be if I need to do the back too, so that if they show, I know it is very tempting to deco this and have the brown show up, but I think this is such a little bit more modern, contemporary, you know, brighter kit, even though it has vintage imagery, the papers in the background for our collaging, it's, you know, definitely more watercolor and up front. So that is the idea. We want to make sure, I may just be something where we glue it and we're doing it like this, you know, and making sure it lines up and doesn't get in the way of each other. So there's that. And then there's that one back to back, glued to this, which then glues itself to this one, right? And then she's beside it. They're almost back to back also. So actually it's not a bad thing. Those two are back. It feels back to back when our, you know, at our edges are its own entity. I definitely feel we need to collage something of the other set over this because I just feel like it doesn't slide. But we have some florals and stuff I may upside down tweak in here, and we're going to really decorate this cover to help pull it all together. I think we have potential, ladies and gentlemen. So let's see what we can do. And whether to work inside out or right side out. Inside out or inside in. Which way to go with that? How's that I'm trying to say? Okay. I think we just need to go for it, right? We're going to keep these in the right order and even in the right direction, but I think I'm going to pull them out so that they are out of the way. I'll leave them just like this, so I'm working in the same direction. Not like we did with the back cover. I'm going to try to really get the edges because I think that's going to make all the difference in the world. It's going to make it a lot easier to do this if I know for sure the edges of our paper are going to stay down. Once they're all done, I guess, and we will, I mean, though I inked, we will trim if I absolutely have to. But if they match up, you're just not going to see really the bag. The point on this one is not really to see the bag. It's to use the bag as our base to give us something. And then they're very, you know, if you see in between, you get to see that little bit of brown. But, okay, so, let's see the ink. But we're going to try to match it up here, but not get in the way of the seam because we want to be able to close. We want to be able to, yes, okay. Yeah, not too shabby, not too shabby. Let's, oh yeah, make sure I'm not getting something else in the way. Go here, this is the full page. Now, this is where, yes, there is some stuff we can see because of the cut job. So if we put these pages back to back properly, though, we shouldn't even see any of that, right? It should be beautifully done. And then we can blend the inks depending on the pages. All right, so that one, done. Next. This one, very pinky, actually. But I think we're going to stick to the green on this. There's a lot of green up here. So we're going to just quickly do some ink and glue, and see how this turns out. Because then it's just, I'll go ahead and cluster, and then this will probably come back up this weekend. We will, I don't know if we'll assemble much of anything else. I think we will, more, you know, pockets, decorations, things like that this weekend. Will be a decor weekend when we come back on this, because Thursday is a continuation of Saturday's video as we decorate. And I feel like there's a line there, like my, yes, there is. May not come off now that I have ink on it. Yeah, make sure you have your lines removed first. Oops. Okay. I think, yes, Thursday is the continuation of the weekend project, the altered page. We went ahead and gonna do that. Decorate that beautiful horizontal continuous pocket and get the inner flap all finished. I think we get that dealt with, so I'm all stoked about that possibility that we have a new section done. Ugh, and then on to the next one, right? But every so often, I will try to get that going. I really need to do it on my own. I keep saying, oh, I'll get it done and off camera and then show you guys. And then I'm spending all my time, you know, doing the videos of the project. So I don't have time to craft that. I've been really good about trying to spend full days doing multiple videos, but I haven't been able to do, you know, a whole lot of crafting off camera. That's, you know, unless it's on the project I was just working on trying to get to the next stage. But we'll get there. Okay, we're right. Ta-da. I lined them up. And look at that. Nice, clean. And we're just using the bag as... So there's a little white here that when we're all said and done, I may trim, but we'll let everything dry really well so that it trims easier. Or I just add, you know, extra, let's move it. We add a little extra ink and maybe we don't even have to do that, right? Let's see if we can keep from doing it. You don't really see it on the other side, but anything that shows up, I just add more pink or purple, right? This I can see, so I'm going to add a little more purple on this end to make it a little stronger. So I don't think we're going to do a lot of trimming if I can help it, right? Why not? Let it really dry, and then if it, you know, it is a little wrinkly because of the fact that it is a glue stick, which I'm a little bummed about, but that's okay. So there we go. Now, here's where at first we are only going to glue the top flap and the bottom flap to get this on. And then on the other side, we will do a full glue job so that the back paper sticks to this one. Okay. So now if I wanted it thicker, I guess I could do a thin piece of maybe copy paper. I guess I could put a piece of copy paper. Good Lord, I'm so used to saying coffee dyed or whatever. Just copy paper in between to give it a little bit more oomph. Do I want to glue a piece of paper here, even just slightly? But I don't want any bumps, so I'd have to go a full page thin and then glue to that to make it a little thicker, because this has something in between that makes these thicker. This would definitely be a thinner page with the two. Right. But the whole point was just trying not to really add in to do the to achieve what we're looking for, right? So let's see. I am going to put this behind it carefully while I glue, just the way that way it has some extra oomph. But we're not getting glue where we don't want it. But I'm definitely only gluing the tabs because that's what we need right now. We don't want to glue more than that because then it's going to stick to the wrong page. Okay. We glue these shut so it should hold. Oops, oh no. So I gotta be careful here. Okay, now let's see. A bit too close to the edge into the seam because we want it to open and close. But I also want it to. Looks like it's lining up there. Looks like it's doing pretty good lining up there. So having a template and knowing for sure each side and each page is the exact same size is making a beautiful difference. I know we usually just like, so it's weird because I can feel, right? Eek, 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 eek. But make sure. Okay, it's a little tight, but it's there. Okay, now we can glue the whole page down and it'll keep it from going anywhere. Now, this is where I'm noticing there's a little bit of a mess. So we want to cover up and over, and there is a mishap. This one did not cut the same as the other ones for some reason. Shoot. Okay. So I guess I'll center it, and if I have to, we're going to trim. This one I may actually have to trim top and bottom. Bummer. Okay. Well, we knew, all of a sudden it's one slight step off. I thought we were doing good, right? So it's a little inside or outside of your mark or the measurement, and all of a sudden, but that's okay. We can make do. These pages it is an inner page, so if it is a little shorter in height than the rest, it is not the end of the world. It's when you have the outside ones that are shorter and you're like, oh, I can see the next page. Maybe not so much unless you do it on purpose, right? So we'll do middle and we'll just slightly trim off the brown and re-ink the back and we'll be okay. So now we can glue this whole thing. And it's, when you're doing it on the page you're about to put it on, adds a little extra glue to the base. Not a bad thing. I never worry about going, hey, let me add some extra glue. I don't really do the glue page part. I don't do a glue book anymore. I don't know why. There's just one more thing to pull out. Just like, nope. I'm using that page. I might as well just. Alright, so try to not get my head in the picture. Sorry, guys. Maybe it's not as bad as I think. Maybe I'm just. Problem is, I don't want to line up bottom or top and then not just bottom or just top. I'm like, no. So you do the bottom off and that, because then it's just short on the bottom, huh? Well, maybe it's best just to cut one thing. And yeah, the bottom is what's the messiest, it looks like, because I can see it here now that we're flattening it out. So I feel like, yes, maybe that is the best thing, and I didn't even get it up. Oh, shoot. I don't want to pull it out. I do realize I'm not even there very good. Oh, well, that went all the glue I had. Yeah, I can see the white, and I was like, no, I don't want to see the white page behind that. It makes it really hard to glue, or ink. All right, so yes, a little trimming is going to be done. Not much we can do about that, but it's okay. So I don't know if you can tell, but yeah, there's just a little bit of brown in places that I just don't want. And since we're not really making this a huge, you know, a visual brown book, right? We don't really want them to, we want them to guess at the fact that there's what we made it made it out of, maybe. Right? I know. What is my base? I don't know. Do you know? You don't know? It's okay. It's a hidden secret unless you watched the video, right? Unless you watched. Okay, so there's that. Just trying to catch the edges. And, you know, like I said, we can just go back and re-ink whatever we need to re-ink. Not cut my fingers off, or cut into my palm there. This is where you could, I wish we were a little bit more as ambidextrous as I am. This is not, you know. Cutting is sort of cutting unless I'm pulling out an X-Acto knife. And then, of course, I'm like, okay, well, I'm left, right, right, left, whatever. But, okay, so we don't want that notch. We want to even it out so it's not obvious. All right, there we go. Okay, so we do some ink, and hey, we are good to go. And since both ends are both green on this contraption, we are not really, after we glue some corners. I was doing so good with that, wasn't I? So there might be a little brown, but I don't want to keep trimming it like a hedge, and then you end up with no hedge when you're done. You're like, I just kept trimming and trimming, and pretty soon you have a nub, and you're like, oh, well, I guess it's regrowing from the beginning. Really? I'm done using my Tim Holtz heavy scissors. And since we had to re-glue, let's do some, see, constructing this puppy. I want to do this. All right, there we go. We've got back, we've got middle, or second middle, because technically go the other way. I hate when these things don't stay in place. Now I had to order more. I was actually running low on my sponges, and I am going lately. Okay, let's go to the next continuous page. Yes, green is definitely our theme, I'm noticing, which I'm happy. That's okay. We do a little bit of purple. We haven't done that much purple. What did we do? It's been a while since I did the purple. What did I do purple last? Something. But even then, I think it's been a while. So probably do our purple project. Next time I come across an idea, I should probably do it in the idea book. So that way we can keep it for something, right? I know. I did something. I don't know. I have this thing in the back of my head going, what did I do? All right. Okay. So now this one's going to go here, so we can back it into this one. There is a little bit of a, what's the word? There we go. It's nice because they are feeling, you know, thicker. This is definitely thicker than this, but you can feel it, but that's okay. You know, it's just that middle one, and it's not, you know, the end of the world. Now this I am seeing already, and maybe I don't want to deal with that later. So let's see if, oh, it's my pen. I'm like, how my pencil ended up way over there, and I just shoved it. It's like, what did I just drop? There. See if we can get some of that weird fluff off the page. All right, it's green. Let's get you glued down. Oh, 59 minutes. I'm sorry, ladies and gentlemen. Well, lately, that's just what it is. I know we're trying to get the projects and trying to keep the longer ones to the weekends, but it's the summer. I don't know. We're all hopefully home and crafting, and even when we're traveling, you know, a downtime so we get inspired. we go home, we know to go back to our favorited videos and pull out the stuff that we need now that we've watched the video and craft along again, right? Rewatch it, pick up the moments. So yeah, this being a Safeway bag, you know, is, like I said, it ended up being that 6 1/4 by 4 3/4. Let's see here. That's open over. I'm realizing this one when we're all said and done, it doesn't seem to be as long as we thought. Even that's what we started with, but maybe because of the I am pulling taut and very tight as I'm going along, trying to, yeah, but now it's okay if each page is cut properly. Like I said, it's going to cover itself, so it's okay that it's not perfectly, you know, the only thing we're going to see is a little bit of that brown antique in the middle at the seam. You know, it's almost like a book binding seam in this sense, and that's all it is. Okay, so those corners did take a beating with my fingers. Let me close it up. All right, ladies and gentlemen, last page, last page, last page. And yeah, stick with the green, even though the inside did purple, which was cute. I feel like green is still going to work, especially since we are looking at the potential of a little bit of a overlay. Let's make sure that our pages are, you know, sort of matchy. I can always go back over with the inner one with more green if we feel like we just want to keep those pages pretty consistent. I think this minty green and the sage is pretty much going to be our, you know, our go-to for this whole thing. So, all right, last page, just glue it on, and I'll let you guys go. We will pick up on this on Saturday. I will see if I can get, oh my gosh, guys, I almost forgot. Okay, we were going to use a magnet here. I wanted to see the magnet, and I was going to put it on the inside, which I guess I'm not putting it on the inside. I was hoping to, it comes with stickies, or is it just, it comes with stickies. I guess it's sticky. I don't know what that is. I need to cover it though. I didn't want to show any of the magnets, of course. Where'd you go? Ah! Oh, it connected to the next one. Okay, good. I'm like, good. There we go. All right, 1 to 1. They need to be somewhere. It looks like they give us what we need to do the initial sticking. Maybe. I don't know, it was this piece, but now I'm like, sticky on one side, but are you going to be sticky on the other? There we go. No, yes, okay. Well, that's sort of cute to help along the way, right? Or at least one end, it's not both, but okay, I think I want it right there. Right? So then I gotta put glue, because I don't think there's enough to do. It's only like it's 1 per set, which is sort of interesting. So, shoot, I'll have to redo that. But, yeah, I sort of wanted it on the inside maybe, so it wasn't on the outside edge. I wanted to get between these two, but that's okay. I think with decorating and whatnot, it'd be best. So let's see if we can do this. I almost forgot. Man, that would have been bad. Okay, hold on. We also need to make sure it stays where I want it to go. Oh, all right. Well, maybe I won't get too much farther. But anyway, we found these beautiful thinner craft magnets from Tonic Studios. And I don't remember if I found it from an Etsy shop or whether I found it online directly. I'll look to see if I can find it. I'll figure out where I bought it from. But they're the smaller sizes, the 3/8 by 1 32 inches. It's that really thin because I like the weight of the what's it called? No. Okay, so it doesn't work the way I want it to in either direction. Oh, come on. All right, well, this will be interesting. I definitely need the paper to cover because they stick really well. All right, well, shoot. Okay, well, I guess I'll let you go while I go struggle with this. There we go. But we'll make sure that it was the right direction, the right side. It will work. We will re-glue. I wanted to glue it down, but it may be that we end up using, maybe fabric tack will be better. All right, so that's where it's supposed to be. I want to close it with a magnet. I hope it's going to work. We'll cover the paper. It'll help keep it in place. which will make a huge difference. And still think I need to get paper and I need to get glue under there just in case, but I still think I need to get glue under there just in case, so we need to reinforce it. But it is shiny, so I don't know if glitter glue will be the best option. But I'm just so glad I caught that. I'm like, not that I couldn't find a way to hide it. I could have put a flower over it, you know, something on the decorative side, so it would just have been, it still would have blended into place. But I'd really like it to have it under the paper, so hopefully it will reinforce it and keep it from going anywhere. Question will be, hopefully it will work through only 2 pieces of paper. It should. I'm not doing, you know, 3 pieces and with the paper, so it should work fine. I'm hoping it'll work fine. Otherwise I'm cutting it out. I don't really want to cut it out. All right, there we go. I'm glad I did it. So here we are. We are looking at a little bit of an edge here, and that is sticking out. Yep, nope, it's just not the right spot. I have it over too far. Well, it looks like I won't be doing videos under an hour anytime soon. But I really wanted to do this project, and I just love what Laurette did and the idea of what she did, and so I wanted to see what I could do, and again, using up my papers to create this cute. So this is where I probably could put lace on the ends of the ends here, if I feel that the edges are too plain. We could do a lot of lace, but I don't think we can do the pom-poms. I think the pom-poms would be too big, even though they're mini, they'd be too thick. And so it would interfere with the potential of the, there's the back of the front. So here I definitely feel like we need some lace over the edge to sort of hide the paper here. And then we have the ability or the thought to put some lace on the edges of some of these pages, like here and here, to, yeah, all three sides on the back. Actually, it'd be pretty to have the lace on the end sticking out. Oh, it does work. Now I just got to get this side to stay. I just got to get this side to stay down, and we'll be golden. All right, there we go. I have to stop. We'll come back, and I will get the front cover basically collaged and the inside collaged. Simple, easy, nothing, you know, crazy on that end. Unless you guys like collaging, I could do it on a short, but I feel that we need to just get that done, and then Saturday we can start doing the creative part, the lace, the decorative piece on the cover, things like that. I feel we really could do. So that will be our Saturday project. We will work on decorating and making this pretty. And you know, I'll get the show you with my notepad and all that jazz. So anyway, plenty to look at, plenty of things still to do, and we will get to that, of course, on the next run. Yes, I think this is going to be our piece. Oh, I love the teal. I mean, I love the pink, but I don't know. I think we're just going to be very much agreeing with hints. We're going to decorate with pink flowers. Definitely going to decorate with pink flowers. So love you all very much. Thank you so much for joining me. Like I said, I will try to put the link for this little guy. If you don't have them already and you're new and you're realizing, you know, I need thin craft magnets and not the big old large ones from Dollar Tree, which are just too thick unless you have a very large project that you really want to be stout. These are going to be, I think, the best thing ever. So love you all very, very much. We'll talk to you very soon. See you Thursday as we continue to work on our altar book, and back Saturday with our bunny Subway bag booklet. Booklet, yeah. I've got to come up with names. I got to figure that out. I believe it's a booklet. So bunny booklet using a Subway bag. So love you all very much, and we'll talk so soon. Bye-bye.